sir.
I want to say to you this morning, there are a lot of things that the enemy has told people that God don't want you to have.
Right. Well.
There are a lot of things that you try to change on your own account.
Right.
There are a lot of things that you've been trying to put in order. May I break that down a little bit?
Yes.
Homes are being messed up.
Right.
Fathers and mothers don't get along.
Right.
And something that God put together that was so miraculously done. As I was looking here, I was looking at those that don't have an understanding of conditions and life. And when we get an understanding, we'll know that God came to fix these things.
Yeah.
Some of us been fishing all our life to find some peace in our life.
Yeah.
Some of us have been fishing to find some essence of those things that we need. How many want to be happy?
Yes, sir. Amen.
How many want peace in their life?
Amen.
How many want to find that settlement of joy that you can have? How many want to find that settlement that you know that was promised unto you?
Yes, yes, yes.
And let me share something with you. For a long time, we've been searching this thing out. For a long time, we've been seeking this thing. But what did we do? We did it on our own.
That's right.
And Jesus saw these men sitting by the Sea of Galilee, and they were fishermen.
Yes.
Now, it's one thing that I understand. We know for a time that we did the things that we wanted to do that made us happy. At least we thought they made us happy.
All right.
Those things that we thought God wanted us to do. And a lot of us got caught up in it because of the fact I thought it was in, I don't know about you, but before God saved me, I was a partier. I thought it was in the party.
Yes, sir.
I thought it was in the dance. I thought it was in the drinking. I thought it was in doing things I enjoyed in my life. But I found out it was no real peace there. I found out there was essence of life I was missing. And so I had to find something different. I had to find something, and you know something, everything that's different doesn't necessarily mean it's going my way.
Yes, yes.
I had to find out, I had to change the course. How many ever came to facts of life and said to themselves, as much as I have done, I have still not accomplished that which I really desire to accomplish?
Come on, preacher.
I was reminded when I would go fishing, some of the brothers took me out fishing. First time I ever went, I was upset. I'm saying all this time sitting here with a string and a stick. That's the way I put it. And all I caught was 2 little fish. And I said to myself, if this is what fishing is all about, I ain't going fishing no more. I mean, I paid expensively for the rod and for everything that I had, for the equipment. But I wasn't getting out of the fishing what I wanted.
Come on, sir.
But there was a gentleman that came up to me and said, where did you go fishing?
Uh-huh.
And what kind of bait did you use? I didn't know all of this. See, there's essence to getting what you want in life. You just have to know how to get it. And I said to him, I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, if you're trying to get this, then you want to use this bait. And if you're trying to get this, then you want to use this bait. And I'm saying, well, nobody never explained that to me. Sometimes going through life, if we stop and listen, we'll hear some things that we didn't know. Amen. And we'll realize where I really need to make the change. Sometimes the change is what I thought didn't need to be changed.
Right.
And so I didn't mess with it. So I took and I went back. I told him, I said, okay. And this time I put out money. Y'all know how you put out money to get on the boat with the rest of the guys, and you got your fishing equipment and you thought you had everything together. Now there's a technique to your fishing.
Break it down.
So when I got to the technique, the guy told me, he said, now, I saw you throw it in correctly. He said, but what you got to do, you got to make it interesting to the fish.
Yeah. Wow. Come on now.
I said, well, I can't jump down in the water because I don't know how to swim. He said, no. He said, you don't have to get in the water, but what you got to do is you got to know when you pull on it a little bit, it makes it interesting to the fish. And they acknowledge you. You just dropped it and it went to the bottom. Pull it up. So I pulled it up. And the next thing I know, boom, he said, grab it, grab it. I grabbed the rod and I was holding it, pulling on it. He said, now, pull it up. Take your time. Draw it in. They're going to pull on you. They're going to snatch on you. Hold it. When I thought about that, I thought about people that have been fishing but didn't know the technique.
Come on.
We can know a lot of things. But see, when you search for it and really looking for peace, you can't find it in the world.
Nope.
The world is full of people that have all kinds of things that they can tell you. Everybody's got an opinion.
Come on.
Right.
Everybody's leaning on things that they think is working for them. But how can you tell me something and you still been fishing as well as I, and neither one of us have gotten anything? I had to go to a person that know how to fish. Not only was that, but he told me, he said, now where I'm taking you, it's a lot of fish. I said, how is that? He said, because you got to know how fish go.
Come on, preacher.
You got to have some knowledge of what fish do. And where he took me, all day long we fished. Now I did that before. But he took me to a place where every time I dropped my net, I was pulling them in. We came back with maybe 3 or 4 buckets of fish. Now you're talking about being happy? I was happy because I got what I wanted and I got what I was looking for. Now, frustration can come along if you've been fishing in the wrong place and you ain't got nothing yet.
Well, sir.
All my life I've been searching for this, and I've been trying to get things together. I've been trying to get my family together. I've been trying to get these conditions fixed. I've been trying, but the one thing that you left out was God.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
Say so.
Because if anybody know how to bring people together, if anybody know how to fix things, it's got to be in God. Why? Because everybody got opinions that they're building on. Some people are even built on dead emotions. Emotions are built on things that you done been through, that's done hurt you, that's done messed up your setup, and now you're trying to fix it with bad things going on inside.
Wow. Come on. Come on.
Let me break that down. Somebody missed that. In life, we go through a lot of things that we didn't want to go through.
That's for sure.
Everybody's gone through something that hurt them. Everybody's gone through conditions that hurt them. And every time somebody gives you an opinion, that opinion is mixed up with pain.
Come on, preacher.
And when opinion is mixed up with pain, you get messed up in the setup and you don't get nowhere because that pain is still harboring you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what do you mean? The first time I got messed up, fishing stopped me from fishing.
Come on. Come on.
But when I got with the right one, I wanted to fish more. So every time they say fish, I went and got my rod. What do you say? When you go to the house of God, God has a word that will build you not only spiritually, but naturally.
Yes.
And it will give you what you need to survive in this life.
Thank you, Jesus.
Why? Because when God does a thing, he fixes it so that you will understand the only thing right that's left that can bring things together is me.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because I'm the one that made you.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Hallelujah.
Come on, preacher.
I'm going to break this down a little bit more. I had to get to the place to acknowledge something. If anybody know me, it's God.
Yes.
But the one I shunned was God.
That's right.
The one I should have went to was God.
Yes.
Why? Because the Bible says We're all born in sin. And we're shaped in iniquity. So I'm going to shun God because I think what I'm doing is the right thing. But God had to let me know, I know what's best for you.
Yes.
Because I'm the one that made you. I know how you operate. So Jesus, when he went by here, all these men say, we've been fishing all night long. How many of you have been fishing but have yet to catch the fish that you want to catch?
Come on, preacher. Yes, sir.
Amen.
How many of you have thought about this thing? And even though people are saying, I ain't going to church, I don't want to hear what that man's got to say. Let me tell you something. I'm not confused.
Come on, preacher.
Well,
I know in whom I believe. Because if everybody's walking around here and you asking your buddies and your friends and they're in the same boat you in, how can they tell you anything different?
Amen. Amen.
I had to get to the place I had to release some things.
Yes.
Because I realized if God made me, then God knows all about me.
amen.
And God knows what I need. And he is my father. Don't you let nobody else tell you different. Forgive me, but I'm going against the tides of this world. You did not come from no ape.
Come on,
You
preacher.
came because God made you.
Yes, sir.
And when God made you, he said, I made it. It was good. I don't know about you, but you got to think better about yourself. You got to know God didn't make you what the world tried to make you. God made you, and when he made you, he made something special.
Yes,
He said it's good. It's all good. What I put together. If you go back and look at yourself. I remember one day I looked in the book and I was looking at how God made us. He gave me a heart, gave me a pancreas, and all these different body parts I got inside of me, and rows of veins and arteries, and gave me a mind to think. This didn't come from no natural, ordinary individual. This came from God. And what God put together, the Bible says that he did it all well.
Yes, he did.
He put it together right. Now you can mess it up. If we don't understand it, we have to go back to the one that made us, the one that put us together, that can fix everything in our life. I don't know about you, but I found peace in God.
Hallelujah.
I found that relationship that I wanted with my Father. Some of us are crying out for our daddy, but your real daddy is Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Amen. Come
I
on,
had to
preacher.
tell somebody, they said, well, I didn't know my mother, I didn't know my father, I didn't know this. It's a lot of things I don't know. But guess what? I know him.
Come on,
And
Shep.
because I know him, I got everything together that I need. I got that joy that's unspeakable and full of glory. Because I realized the Bible already said, now, I'm not out trying to hurt nobody's feelings. But this is true. Can't nobody love you like Jesus.
Amen. Come on, Shepherd.
People will fail you. But God will never. I can say it like David says, once I was young, but now I'm a little bit older. But I've never seen God's righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Because God promised to supply all of your needs according to his riches in glory. Let me share something with you. If you want a glory experience, then you got to turn your back on the world.
Come on down.
Yes, sir.
Because God says, I want to take you to a spot where you can go fishing. And every time you dip here, you're going to catch something.
My.
How many looking for that peace?
Amen.
How many looking for that joy that you haven't found yet?
Yes, sir.
How many looking for that relationship? Because let me share something with you. God has everything prepared for you. And one of the last things we want to go to, I don't want to go to that church. They ain't doing this. And let me share something with you. That's just a trick of the enemy to keep you away from what God really has in store for you. How many know I'm better than that?
Yes.
Amen.
And I know I deserve better. So you got to get it in your own mind. I deserve better than this. And when you know you deserve better than this, then you got to step out and make some changes. You can't do the same thing you've been doing and expect change to come. You got to change so those things can change for you. And then you can't be concerned about everybody. Right now, in this country, we're in some awful shape.